Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 836 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am, of course, joined today in pretend low Earth orbit by Rob Roseboom.
Hello.
And Chris DeBona.
Hi.
Gentlemen, we've completed the airing of grievances, the pre-show airing of grievances.
Yeah, something like that.
And, well, today it was, health insurance?
Health insurance costs,
power
yes.
lines.
Yes.
Yeah, so these scintillating conversations, we don't press the stream button until we're.
I don't know. I mean, I think we've talked about the requirement of various power companies to sacrifice their customers to the old gods as a requirement. You know, so I don't think that that's deeply controversial. I think everyone knows that that's a thing.
It's true. So. All right, well, we got the oldest one on the list. We've got episode 1 back in theaters for May the 4th. Oh, May the 4th be with you.
No, I'm not going to say it. I'm sorry.
And
you can
May the 4th
get bent.
be with you, Chris. Oh, are you Orthodox Jedi?
This is 3 days later, man.
I'm sorry, man. Also, I reject the idea that we're going to have a corporate holiday for Star Wars.
Isn't that horrible?
After what they've done to our boy.
It's true. It's true. Well, the story is that they made $14.5 million on the re-release, and guess what, guys? I went and saw it, but I didn't pay any money because I had
the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I had 2 free tickets.
It's garbage.
I had 2 free tickets, so I took my kid.
Well, why did you get free tickets? Did you give blood or something?
No, I have I get a free ticket a month thing, and I didn't see anything in April, so I had 2 free tickets.
Yeah, they just give him tickets to the worst movie that's out for that month, and then he can choose to see it or not.
Yeah, that's my choice.
Yep.
So I skipped Madam Web. When that was
you skipped Madam Web?
I skipped Madam Web in the theaters.
How
so
could you?
Save it for episode 1. So I watched it, and I hadn't seen it in the theater in 25 years, and I'm not gonna. It's not any better, but it was fun to watch it. The theater wasn't crowded or anything, but it was actually quite pleasurable to hear little kids laugh at Jar Jar and be reminded that Jar Jar
was for kids
for a reason.
It was for
just
kids.
Wasn't for me, and that's okay. Not every movie has to be for me. Star Wars should have been for me, but episode 1 wasn't for me.
It was not for you.
It was not for me.
I'm also not sure it was for children.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I was a child.
A more violent time.
Yes.
Well, I had a lot of thoughts about it, honestly, that we don't necessarily need to barrel through, but I was reminded, so the pod racing scene in the middle, which is 19 minutes long, and I was just bored through that entire pod racing scene. And I was bored in the theater, and I've seen that movie probably a dozen times since then. And I'm bored every time during the pod racing scene. But you know what? Every Marvel movie that comes out has 3 20-minute long action sequences, and I'm bored during one of them.
There's some pretty boring ones,
So maybe I was just maybe that movie was just ahead of the curve on every possible measure. One of your action sequences is just going to be super boring.
Okay.
But you know what? I got to see a movie in the theater with my kid, and it was a Star Wars, and that's all right.
It was a Star Wars.
It was a Star Wars. Go see a Star Wars with your kid. That's not the worst way to spend a morning. So we've got the Helldivers story. So on Friday,
this has been every morning, every time my kid comes home from school, because they've been playing Helldivers. They're like, Dad, what's happening. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's kind of exciting too. It's kind of amazing, So
the story is that the game originally was released, and it was supposed to have PlayStation Network integration, but it was too buggy, so they did not have PlayStation Network integration, and they let everybody log in and play for free, or not for free, but without logging into their PlayStation account. And then they waited. The game was a huge hit. They sold a cajillion copies, and then decided they would force everybody who had already bought and been playing the game to log in. Now, here's the thing, at least in my house, my kids don't have PlayStation Network accounts.
Yeah.
And I have zero interest in maintaining yet another account. Like, they have a Switch account, and I have a PlayStation account. But I got to tell you, man, the number of accounts that you have to maintain,
it's exhausting. And honestly, it's just like, which one's going to get breached next? I think Sony's already had a breach, you know.
Probably many of them. So anyway, that was the whole weekend. Like, we're gonna lose. Helldivers is gonna be ruined, or like, is everybody gonna demand that? Like, I was ready to go demand my money back. Like, you can't take a game, I had to buy 2 copies of that game so my kids could play together. And I'm not gonna I want a refund is basically what it came down to. That was like, they used their Christmas money to buy that. That's not cool.
Yeah, it's not cool.
But they then changed their mind after a weekend of basically becoming the butt end of every joke on the internet. They were made fun of by Penny Arcade, by everybody, man.
Yeah.
You don't want to get made fun of by Gabe and Tico. If you're on Penny Arcade, that's pretty much the worst possible place to be. That's my theory.
Yep.
But they overturned it, so good on Sony for doing right by folks. We have another story which actually is even funnier, kind of the Pokemon Go thing. So
yeah, I actually thought this was a charming story.
It is fun.
It's kind of great.
The story is that Pokemon Go, it's been out now for like 8 years, and they keep adding new Pokemon to keep to catch up with the mainline games. Yep. And apparently, in the last release, just like how Minecraft has biomes, Pokemon Go has biomes. And people were going into the open map data. If you lived in a landlocked region, you had no beach biome. And so they were going in and they were adding beaches where there are none.
Mm-hmm.
And so this whole article is just about how that doesn't really work.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they changed a whole bunch of open map data to say there were rivers and beaches where there are none, and these people to go through and clean it up.
What a weird problem.
Sorry about that. My Switch, I mounted a network switch under my desk, and every once in a while I hit it with my foot, and then it falls down. I'm like, shit, I gotta grab it before it ripped everything else off the wall. I just think it's great. I guess they were using OpenStreetMap. They used to use Google Maps, but then, that's expensive. And so they stopped doing that. And I guess they're using OSM and pulling data from them, right?
Yeah, and the article is talking about how there's a pretty significant lag between updates, because it's not like Pokemon Go needs to update their map data.
Well, I mean, you don't want to drive somebody who really wants to get a Pokemander. I don't know. I don't play like you guys do. They want their Pokemander, and they go, and it turns out it's a place where a bridge has collapsed in the last week, and they're climbing through the rusty metal left over from the Francis Scott Key Bridge and trying to get their Pokemon, and then they die. And then whose fault is that? Whoever edited OSM.
I gotta get my Bulbasaur, so I just walked across this bridge, but it wasn't there because
because people will modify the GPS signals going into the app to try to figure it out. My theory is, I bet you somebody has tried to the Fukushima denial zone or whatever, and they probably had to remove specifically Pokemon from the denial zones and the places where people will die if they go there. I don't know.
Well, I know this looks like a pit, but the map tells me it's fine. So
I'm gonna keep
the map tells me at the bottom of this pit, covered in spikes and feces, is a Charmander.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him.
I'm gonna go get him. So
me likey that.
Yeah.
Let's see. So the Breakout calendar management story was making the rounds earlier on Friday. I haven't actually played it, but
that's fantastic.
Just as a visual demo, you can see in the video clip, somebody implemented a plugin. I think it's a Chrome plugin.
Break time.
Which lets you play Breakout inside of Google Calendar and destroy your meetings. And I actually really like that because there's 2 great things. One is that it's always going to be easiest to knock off the meetings late in the day because they're down, which is good because I want to go home early. From my busy work week. And then also, if you manage to get like a Sunday off, which you should because that's the Lord's Day, then you should be able to like hook a ball up there and then like get it to bounce on the top. And then you could just take
Oh, yeah.
all those 8 a.m. stand-ups, just
Yeah,
pop them
okay.
all out. That'd be great.
I think it's when I don't know which of the apostles created the church. I'm still not sure.
Gary.
Let's just say, Gary, or
the
Saint
Apostle Gary.
Saint Lawrence. Whatever.
Saint Steve.
Saint Steve. Yeah, when he created the church, he said, one day we're gonna need a breakout implementation.
Yep.
Because he could see the future.
Oh yeah, he knew some stuff.
Yeah.
It was a holy man, that Gary.
I like that they picked Ra's Day as the day of church. It's like they were trying to attract the people who worship the sun god.
I don't really know which days are which anymore because they seem like they got.
Well,
shuffled
Sunday
around
is clearly about the sun and thus Ra, and then you have Wednesday, which is
like,
Odin's day, and
Friday,
Thursday, which is Thor's day.
Freya and Thor. Like we're really confusing with our calendar.
I'm not sure with Fridays. It might be
Day.
Friday. Moon Day, yeah,
But then we
exactly.
use our calendar.
And Tuesday is named for Tuesday Weld, the actress from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. But the months like are named after like Roman emperors. That's kind of messed up.
No, it's named for the SNL actress Jan. What was her name? So that's
Hooks.
January. Jan Hooks. Thank you, Zen. How could I forget our Lord and Savior Jan Hooks?
Jan Hooks.
And then
all hail Jan.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. February is to remind you about the feeble people around you when they crack their rib in an ungodly accident.
Stop skiing, Chris.
Oh man. No. I re-broke it skiing. I didn't break it skiing.
All
So
right.
in my ribs
just made it
defense,
worse.
it's just it's just been bad lately.
Yep,
So-
March is Penguin Month.
March of the Penguins,
March of
right?
the Penguins,
Exact.
yep.
Thank you.
Yep, April
April.
showers.
Well, April's about the character in
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
We just skip May.
Sure.
You,
Let's
like,
go with that.
You skip May sometimes. Like May, maybe. Meh.
I don't know. I mean, sure. We'll skip
June
May.
can be named after bugs.
Yeah, June bugs.
July
Cleaver.
is just for America. Because it's named
What?
after the 4th of July.
No, I think it's named for Julie Andrews.
Oh no, I think that
Right.
July is named for the 4th of July, which is America's birthday.
Which came first,
Which came
it was the
before
4th of July.
Right.
And, yeah.
And then,
July,
of course,
August.
Augustus Bush.
Augustus Bush. Augustus Gloop.
Bush.
Named after
Yeah,
Augustus Gloop.
the great beer maker. We should honor
Yeah.
good old Augustus. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I think we can stop and we'll do the remaining 6 months.
Right.
That's right.
We'll
come
or
back to that
5
next
months.
week.
Yeah, next
4.
week. Yeah, 4.
So
Depending on which calendar you use.
Well, I mean, October is 8,
I
clearly.
use the worst
So
calendar.
all right, let's go on. Let's move on. Thank you,
There's-
Breakout, for
There's
your
the
service.
Boeing launch.
Yeah, got scrubbed.
They got
Bad valve.
scrubbed, which is probably good because I gotta say nobody in that capsule right now is like, I trust Boeing to put me safely into
man.
space. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine that whole place has just got to be like the scariness of putting humans into orbit is already like gotta be like one of the most tense things you can possibly do for engineering.
It's all fine and well if you're in an airplane and a window comes out, but in space it becomes a little bit more pressing.
Yeah.
That's a bit on the scary side. But hopefully that they have another launch schedule window for like I think maybe tomorrow. I think 8, 10, and 11 or something. So hopefully those guys will be fine. But oh man, that's not good for them. I remember when I went to see the shuttle launch in 2012. They had the capsule, like one of the prototype capsules there, and I like that was 12 years ago.
Wow.
And that they still haven't got that thing to have a manned launch.
Yeah.
Like that's embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed for you.
I mean, I didn't
Them,
do it.
them.
I didn't do it. I don't work at Boeing.
I'm just saying, where were you when they were filling that thing up and checking out that valve? There was a scathing article in Ars Technica about Boeing and the crew thing.
It's such a tax dump. Even Musk.
No, it's actually it's a very fair-minded article. Here, let me paste this up.
It's a mess
Because
of a story.
it makes sense to have two providers so you don't become dependent on one. But the way they messed it up, it's just like it's kind of because everyone at NASA was like, no, Boeing is the way to go. I mean, SpaceX is fine.
Thanks, Magnum.
But yeah, so
Magnum is the worst for me too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope they get up safe. I really do. That's scary. But I love the idea of having multiple launch vehicles. That even Musk dunked on them because they had like twice the budget and twice the schedule, and they still haven't got up there. Guys, did you know the sun is hot?
I was looking at the title of this and wondering if there was more.
This is just the solar orbiter that went around last year. They released some video of it, and it's actually like if you want to see stuff that looks like CGI, but it's not.
But it is hot. That's what they found.
For sure.
Okay. So the sun is hot.
The sun is hot. They confirmed it.
Okay.
Like they went up there really close and like tried to touch it, but they couldn't. It was really hot.
So I haven't touched it either. I just feel it outside sometimes. And it always seems kind of hot.
Right. And then when it's extinguished each night, then I don't know. That must be a lot of steam.
Yeah, when someone shuts the sun off at night.
when they cut the voltage.
Yeah.
Apollo,
flip the breaker.
Yeah, Apollo's over there with like a giant switch. Turn off the horse wheel.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Chris, can you scroll down and play the video, and then I'll screenshot that so that like
this one here?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. I'll bring it up.
Right over the ad. Oh, there we go. So we can like have some cool.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But that's the thing is like this is one of those things. It looks like CGI.
Gloop, gloop.
But
it has a sound. The sound is it's gloop.
That's what the sound of the sun.
Gloop, gloop.
Yep.
Well, there's another one.
Yeah. Oh, it's hot this time of year on the sun.
Yeah, there you go.
That's why when I go visit the sun, I usually try to do it during the winter because it's a little colder.
I think it's not cool to call them spicules, though. I mean, that seems mean.
Ouch! What? You're dissing the sun?
I mean, I would call it something cooler, because solar flare is a pretty cool name.
Flame finger.
Coronal mass ejection, pretty cool. Spicule,
Gary.
They should come up with something better.
Gary.
Like nuclear loops, or I don't know, like something more wavy. Fusion waves, fusion whitecaps. There you go.
Ooh, yeah, the fusion whitecaps are cresting this year,
right? Because that's cool.
Plasma swells.
Plasma, yeah. Who doesn't like a good plasma abscess? No, that's pop it like a zit.
I feel like if we sat around for a few minutes, we probably could come up with something really clever, but I don't know if any of us has the energy for that. But maybe if we had a nice cup of cold brew, that would stimulate our neurons. Because
probably not on the sun, but
no, it's hard to have cold brew on the sun. Well, during winter you can do it, but not during the summer, because as we all know, the sun is cold during the winter. So the last story on there is the ultrasonic cold brew. And do either of you ever make cold brew? Like, is that a thing in your lives? Because I've done it many times. You get your big old mason jar, and you grind up like an entire bag of beans, and you soak it in your refrigerator for like 2 days, and then you have to filter it, and it's a goddamn mess, and it always spills, and the funnel gets everywhere. And then when you're all done, you have like super concentrated, delicious cold brew that you have to like dilute with ice and stuff. It's great, but it's such a pain in the butt. But these guys are doing with ultrasonic waves in 3 minutes.
You know, I don't mean to sound rude. I mean, more power to them. I got no beef with the University of New South Wales. They've created some pretty good graduates, like Simon Horman. I think he went to UNSW,
Maybe.
And then but I mean, that's a lot of, 3 minutes to have cold coffee
now.
It's
so okay. Yeah. Making proper cold brew is.
They often rave about the smoother, less acidic, and less bitter taste.
It's a 12 to 24 hour process. So to go from 12 hours to 3 minutes is pretty cool. But mostly, I'm interested in just not having to have a giant mess.
Yeah.
And I do make my coffee in about 3 minutes because when whichever of you guys is late for Geeks in Space, that's my time to go and take.
That was me today.
And pull my last shot of espresso because I just drink espresso.
I have to tell you, this is a pretty cool diagram, though. Oh,
you want to show it to us?
Yeah. So you got the filter basket, the portafilter. It has a window that it blasts with coffee grounds.
It's neat.
That's pretty neat. I got to give them credit for that. Let's see if they've got a video going. All right.
Probably just an ad for Folgers.
Yeah, right. They always have these crazy apparatus too, coffee nerds,
Oh, I have so many weird coffee apparatuses, Chris. You have no idea.
I believe that about you.
I have 5 different ways to make cold brew. I have funnels and jars and there's no good way. So I'm
So why do you drink coffee if there's no good way to have it?
I mean, I like cold brew.
Oh, you like cold brew.
Well, so what I actually
you can see they cut a hole in the side of this guy here.
That's good for them. What I actually do is usually when I want a cup of cold coffee, I pull a shot of espresso and just dump it on a glass of ice. It's not as good
blur,
but I can do it right now, and I don't have to have I don't have to make a giant mess. And I tell you, I have cleaned many, many, many giant messes out of my kitchen.
I believe this. I mean, you also, the smell, and so you don't know when something's going bad, and
I solved the problem by just never drinking coffee.
Well, I mean, that's one answer. That's your choice. I don't drink coffee either. I drink iced tea.
You sure do.
And nobody tries to do ultrasonic iced tea.
No.
No, but if that bitch tries to add ice without asking
whoa, calm down.
I have been there and watched you lose your mind because
about
the
what?
lady poured more iced tea in your iced
I didn't
tea.
lose my mind. I was just actually, I'd prefer to keep the balance. I don't lose my mind.
I have seen you. It makes you very unhappy.
But I don't express it to the nice lady.
No, you don't.
I mean, come on. I'm not a monster. No, it's definitely inside.
And then when they leave.
Listen, you don't get to re-break your rib as many times as I have without internalizing some damn rage. Okay,
that's fair.
I mean, come on, it's got to go somewhere.
That's true.
It's like PG&E and sacrificing people to the old gods. It's got to get done.
You've got a Grand Theft Auto 4 walkthrough thing that you shared in channel that I didn't post to.
Yeah. Let me. So basically, a dude. Here. Let's bring this up.
I'm putting it up on the zone too. Oh, I can't because there's an upstream error on Reddit. Dude, Reddit is just falling apart.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. Honestly.
It is embarrassing. And they have earnings report today.
Oh, maybe that's why.
You'd think they would are they just trying to make sure the right things rise today?
I don't know, man. Ugh, all right. I guess I'll post that to the Reddit some other day because Reddit doesn't have Reddit today.
So basically, the guy took the speed of the traffic and increased it 10 times, 100 times. Yeah. So here. So basically, he leaves his little house in Grand Theft Auto 4, not 5,
not
4.
Oh, 999%.
Yes. So here he is. He's got to drive to Roman's place, and you can see cars just flying. and what's really funny is all the pedestrians who are just getting completely wanged. You see them flying by.
Oh, that's cool.
It's super funny.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so he walks outside and then
Look at those
he
cars
died.
just hitting ramps and going flying. They can't even turn.
Yep.
That's great.
Everyone's like, whoa.
So the the cars like
So go and
wherever
visit
they're
it. I mean, it's
spawning,
really
they're
funny.
just basically taking off like a rocket, and they
Yeah.
can't turn because he didn't speed up the physics. He just made the cars like wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I like that.
Holy cow! Wow,
Good,
that is an epic spin. Look at that.
That's really
That
cool.
is magnificent.
even the boats.
All right, Tom Walker, congratulations.
You're a genius, Tom
I mean,
Walker.
You did it, man. You did it.
You crazy taxied.
You did.
Perfect.
Yeah, he full on crazy taxi.
All right, I watched Unfrosted last night.
How was it?
It's terrible.
Oh.
Wow.
Is it about like Pop-Tarts?
Yeah, it's the Pop-Tart movie with Seinfeld in it. And like every single person in it is like you recognize them from like 50 things. Like he called in all his buddies and they're all in it. But you should not watch this. I said this in the channel, but I'll say this now. In a few months, somebody will upload to YouTube all of the little scenes with there's two little kids that like are in a dumpster that like keep finding delicious things to eat. When that clip comes out on the internet, you need to watch their performance because they are so friggin' funny. Like there's a little boy and a little girl, and the girl's line reads are the funniest thing. Like I don't often find a child actor to be compelling on screen
because they're usually terrible.
Because they're usually terrible. This kid has all the charisma, funny lines, funny
Charisma. Sorry, that was a toast reading. You know, Matt Berry.
I'm not Clem Fandango. I'm
Yeah.
Commander Tango. Clem Commander Tango? I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was.
Clamato.
But anyway, don't watch Unfrosted. But when that clip comes, seriously, like I looked for it earlier because I just want to see a supercut of their scenes because it's so funny. And I watched episode 1.
So it's basically one long cameo thing.
It's like
from what the trailer is showing here.
Lots of cameos.
It looks like it.
It's tiring.
The thing that made me I have seen so many corporate movies. Like so I watched the Flamin' Hot Cheetos movie.
But why?
Because it was Oscar nominated for a best song nomination.
It was not Oscar nominated.
It had a best
really
for a song,
and
it was
awful.
terrible. But also like the Blackberry movie, which is actually really worth watching just for like its representation.
Oh no, I want to see that. I mean, that actually looks good.
It's early 2000 internet culture. Like it's gonna hit all your buttons. Like it's a deja vu flashback. But like there are so many movies right now of like corporate product origin story movies. This movie could have done this and done that and taken the piss out of it.
Yep.
But it did not. It's just like a bunch of dumb sketches.
Okay.
Most of them don't work. But there's a lot of people. There's some funny parts. I just like 10 minutes in, you're like, I get what you're going to do here. I don't care about any of this anymore. But that's the only thing I think I watched besides episode 1, which I think episode 1 was better than Unfrosted. Which is saying a lot. Is there anything else worth watching?
I don't know.
Either of you ever watch Clarkson's Farm or Welcome?
No.
Oh yeah,
I haven't done it. Is it good?
Started.
Yeah.
I love Clarkson's Farm.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Season 3 just hit. I'm on episode 2 of season.
You're
I've only
there.
seen episode 1. I really like the premise this year. They have Caleb and Jeremy kind of like
head to head.
Which is always fun because Clarkson is an idiot. But that show is really good at like showing you, like you want to feel sympathy for the plight of the farmer.
Yeah, and how food production really works and all that.
Yeah,
it's great for that.
Caleb does a really excellent job of like teaching you like how difficult the work is and like how much like randomness and chaos there is to all this. And then Jeremy is really good at teaching you, and there is so much bureaucracy and rules and hoops to jump through. And like, you know, like he always plays it off like this is all bullshit. But like you kind of understand like why some of these rules exist, and then also you understand these rules are bullshit. And I don't know, I think that show's got a lot going for it.
Yep, I really like it.
I just found out, spoiler, that somebody has cancer on the show, so I'm hoping that that pans out because the character I liked.
You didn't like him enough.
No, I
You
like
want
him
him to have
a
cancer.
lot. I like him
okay.
a lot.
No, he's rooting for him, not the cancer.
I'm pro cancer, Chris.
I mean, I know this about you. That's all.
It's one of my flaws. I'm working on it. I'm going to therapy to like, you know, be against cancer. Like anybody, if I see you wearing one of those bracelets, I'll just punch you.
The Live Strong bracelets.
Any color bracelet, because I assume it's for cancer.
Well, you know, I've got a black one, but it's a production bracelet from Battlestar Galactica.
I would punch you because I might think that it's colon cancer.
You'd think having
But
like the list of the pros and cons of cancer would be enough to convince you, but not Rob.
No. I see those bracelets and it's just a rage blindness. It's hard. No, is there any other media worth discussing? I need some new stuff to watch. I do like Welcome to Wrexham, but it's kind of cheesed out. Like the thing of that show is kind of fun, but I don't think it's going to be fun through a third season.
Nope, nothing.
All right.
I got to get going here in 3 minutes.
All right, you guys go have your important meetings.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Rob Roseboom.
We're super important.
Oh,
goodbye.
Goodbye, super important Rob and Chris DeBona.
Later.
I was Rob Commander Taco Malda. That was episode 300 and something of Geeks in Space, and I'll talk to you some other time. Bye-bye.